go through the emotions of, trying to call this person back, the heartbreak, the tears. It's
okay. So this is, I read this when I was a child, probably when I was about 10, 11. And basically the import of the quote was to say that if somebody leaves you and you know you've not done anything wrong, then it's the problem is the person and it's not you.
Yeah, but this is somebody you're used to. You're
used to them, of course.
Yeah.
But here's the thing.
Yeah.
My dad, who's the closest man to me, can leave and go and live in another country, come back for like 2-3 years.
Okay.
And I have to adjust to not being able to get
It's not the same as somebody that you're, the kind of
no,
relationship.
It's not the same.
Of course.
I mean, because
so why would you compare?
It's a stronger relationship because this is someone I grew up with as opposed to someone I just met. And
but you wouldn't share. Excuse me to say, you wouldn't share that.
You wouldn't share that
intimacy with your dad.
It's
obviously,
being able to compartmentalize and rationalize things, logically think through it, and be like, you know what, this is. And for me, I do a list. So my strategy is I do a list.
I like it when you say list.
Okay.
I love lists. So I do a list, right? Pros, cons.
Yeah.
So pros of the person being around me. So my key pros are really if the most important things in my life was I growing when I was with that person. Okay. If I wasn't, those are cons. They're going to the side. Now for me, I'm trying to be really successful. So if you're not someone who's like pushing me in you're a con. So that's on the side. So when I look at the list and the cons outweigh the pros, I'm good. I'm just like, this is the most logical decision.
So when have you ever looked at a list and then, the pros outweigh the cons?
I looked at a list one time and the pros outweigh the cons.
And did that make you at least cry and sad?
That made me a bit, it made me a bit emotional because that person, the only reason I was breaking up with the person was because there were issues within his family that because he wasn't, let me just say, they were racist.
Okay.
So I just felt like, you know what, I'm not going to deal with, I'm not that kind of, I'm not going to be able to deal with the whole ass kissing and having to, trying to make you like me.
So this is a different, so
I would cry. Oh, no. So me, I was just like, it hurt me because I really did love this person. However, I was not going to be that woman who was going to try and impress, or not even impress, but you hate me because of something I cannot help, which is the color of my skin. And so I'm not going to go the extra mile to try and impress you just because of...
Of course not. And you shouldn't.
And you shouldn't. Compromise was not going to be there.
Right. So and you shouldn't. PY, do boys cry?
Do boys cry?
Yeah.
We'll say no, but yes, we do, behind closed doors. It depends on, once again, on the relationship. I've seen some men break down before.
Men like you?
I've seen some men break down before.
Why is it so hard to say men break down?
I mean, really?
But because, come on now, the norm. We are not going to sit here because you broke up with me, I'm going to sit somewhere and cry. It doesn't really happen that often. But when it does, it should tell you that, no, this man really...
Has it happened to you? Because people, allow me to say this, because I've been around you where you've been very distraught over... I wouldn't even call it a breakup, or matters of the heart. And your countenance, I could... for me, I think it's the most sexiest thing a man can show. Or, can try not to hide too much. Because at the end of the day, you need to grieve. You need to let you need to cry, let it out. I had a friend who came to see me. She was having issues. I locked her up in my room. I gave her a box of tissue, and she bawled her eyes out. It doesn't mean she's a weak person. If you're a guy and you're going, and for me, I thought it was that was one of the most interesting moments I've had with you, even as a friend. Seeing that you had that sense of vulnerability. You're human. You're not. Boys don't cry, whatever I say. But people...
No, but when it hits you, trust me, it will hit you so hard, it's powerful than the Muhammad Ali punch. You feel it.
But people will come and you say, I said, your eyes are red. And he's like, Charlie, my sinuses. I'm like, nigga, that ain't no sinuses.
But like I'm saying, it depends on the relationship and what actually happened,
Yeah.
And in most cases, you know, guys will want to deny it. I know a guy who broke up with his fiancée. He drove all the way to Labadi Beach when they sat on the beach and cried the whole night. Do you understand?
Yeah.
You have to let it out. You know, like I'm saying, like I said earlier on, most men will want to hide it. They don't want to bring it out. Guys, sorry, I'm giving out a little bit of our secret
You
today.
should.
But,
You should.
No, but it's true though.
But some guys will do that. He will even drive to church and sit there and just cry his heart out and pray and whatever and then leave. You know, but you have to. Yes, so boys do cry.
Yeah.
Men do cry.
Yeah. You.
And I think that's
How
the
do you
problem.
deal with your breakups? You as PY.
Before, right? You know, I mean, this year, I'm hitting the big 4-0.
Right.
You know, it's something I don't have to hide anyway.
Yeah.
You know, and I can say the past 20 years, you know, looking back at my life and dealing with relationships, you know, I'm at a point where now my first point of call is to go on my knees and pray. Because once you're able to do that, you find some self-cleansing within yourself. If you truly believe and you want to do that, you find some self-cleansing within yourself. And you need to work on yourself as an individual.
So you're saying that you didn't do that in the past.
In the
and
past.
Now you,
But I'm just saying, yes, in the past. I didn't used to do that in the past because in the past, fine, you break up over what? A text message. You haven't even seen, you didn't even see that girl, you break up over a text
Have you done that
message.
before?
Oh yeah, I've done that.
You broke up with a girl
Over text.
Over
text
text
message.
message.
Why? What did the text say?
You know, I don't even remember,
So mean.
but sometimes I said, I'm like, this is so foolish. I mean,
That's so mean.
What? No, you don't remember what the text said.
I don't remember.
This is not working.
Anyway,
This is not
it wasn't an
working,
email.
I don't see. I don't carry myself again.
Wow.
You know,
Wow.
but it's all building yourself, you know, as an individual, you know, because you need to go through these breakups.
So has a girl sent you a text to say that let's break up before?
No, I haven't received that before.
But has a girl broken up with you before?
Oh yeah, I have. I've had that in the past.
Take me through that process. You know,
Through the process.
The comprehension of
The first thing is
the conversation. Like, okay, did she just say that we've broken up?
Yeah, I mean,
Take me
the
through
thing
steps.
is, you know, you're thinking about, I'm like, I mean, what's going on here? I mean, what is wrong? What did I do wrong? Okay, I don't think we had a fight. I don't raise my hand. I will not hit you because that's not how I was brought up.
Of course.
You know, but then you sit back and you start playing it back and thinking that, okay, what is happening? Why is she trying to break up with me? And then she comes back and she's like, okay, fine. This is the reason why I don't want to be with you. So at that particular point, as much as you might be in love, you still need to think. It will not happen instantly, but you still need to think about it and be like, okay, fine. This is it. The chick, they feel you.
How long will it
They're
take
shocked.
you to sort of? How long did it take you to actually, like you're saying, to actually have it dawn on you that the chick they feel you no more?
Listen, it can. I know friends from high school.
PY, you.
I'm talking about myself in a relationship. I'm here, Joselyn.
Yeah.
I'm right here.
Tell me.
So how long will it take me?
Yeah.
I've had relationships where it took me a day or two. I've had relationships where it took me 3 years, 4 years to get over it.
Really?
Yes, because you sit down and you think and you're like, so this thing said like, we do I'm so say we do I'm this way. Why don't we try, you know? But then there's no room of you going back to correct or to try.
I mean, let's say in that period,
Right.
do you feel like you need to go back to this person, or did you have the urge to
No,
call?
at that particular point, it's the ego. Thank you. That's the word I was looking for.
Right.
No, once the ego sets in, it's a whole different ball game because then you feel too good to go back to her. She feels too big to come back to you. Like when you were saying, when you're looking at the pros and cons, you got to a point that at the pros are more, but you couldn't go back because at that particular point, it's not something. It's not part of your lifestyle at that very moment.
But then here's a case where you don't even know what you did, and then there's a breakup.
Then
and this
ask.
person is you ask and they're not even telling you.
But
what
that's
you
when
did.
people lose their mind because I've seen people.
Have you
That
no?
guy
Have you been through that
come out
before?
He come out, somebody will just walk out.
Are
Just
you
like that.
serious?
It happens. It happens.
Because you see, that's the thing.
I don't think
Like you're
I've been
saying,
through
I
that
need to
before.
know what I did wrong.
Right.
And the reason why this is going on, so that I know that in my next one, I will not repeat the same thing. Everybody is growing and learning.
Right.
You know, so some of you know, the guy would say, do you know what? It's fine. Just, I don't want to talk about it.
Right.
That is the most painful thing. For me, it's torture. You know, because at the end of the day, you're not telling me what went wrong.
Right.
You just felt like you needed to break it.
But he knows
it's
exactly
like
what the problem is.
it's like,
I think sometimes it's not about you, and a lot of people say this is cliche, and it is kind of, oh, it's not you, it's me. It is a bit cliche, but sometimes that's just the truth.
Yeah.
Like, it's not you.
But when
There's
that happens, don't
nothing
you
wrong
feel
with you.
used and discarded, even as a person? Do you understand? It's like you're not telling me what it is.
Yeah.
So you're done. You're done. You know, because I'm not ready to walk out of this.
But that's when the chick will show up at your office, you know, and she'll come wilding out because you haven't told her the reason why you're breaking up with her. You know, trust me.
Have you ever had a breakup like that before, where the guy wouldn't tell you what it is?
Not really. Like I said, like maybe because of my process, because I really involve. Like, I have a good support system when it comes to those things. So I really involve my family.
Look, I have a good support system. Okay,
Right.
I have amazing friends.
Right.
I have an amazing mother who I'm very close to.
Right.
I've been through something where let me use myself,
Right.
you know, since y'all are not trying to tell me nothing.
We've said a lot.
Let me use a lot. Let's go to the wrong thing. But let me use myself. You know, it's like, I was in a very toxic relationship.
Right.
I mean, it was extremely toxic.
Right.
And it was time, I needed to walk out. And I had walked out a few times.
Right.
To the extent that sometimes when I walked out and I walked back in, I don't even tell my friends anymore that I've walked back in. I don't even let my friends know that I get a call and it's him.
Yeah.
And I can't even bring myself to telling my friends that the guy I'm on the phone with is this particular person.
Exactly.
Because this is not good for you, clearly.
Yeah.
You know, it's not going anywhere. It's
Yeah.
toxic.
But you're still stuck in
But
there.
you're still, exactly.
Why
hold
do
on
you
to
say
something.
You see, logic.
Yeah.
Logic again, like you're saying, I liked him as a person, okay, and I was thinking, you know, people change, we're growing. Exactly the way you
Yes, of
think.
course.
Yeah.
So my worldview is getting broader.
Right.
You know, I'm seeing things much differently. Yes, when I was 19, I was quite irrational in my decision making, exactly like you. You know,
Right.
now as I get older, I see things differently. So I'm thinking, okay, let me give him the benefit of the doubt. Let me see how, maybe if I do things a little differently, it will change something. So I start making excuses for the situations. So maybe if I was home a little bit more, maybe if I wasn't on set and I was staying too late sometimes and filming too late, maybe if I was spending enough time with him, maybe, you know, then by the time I'm done with the maybes and checking all the pros and the cons,
Right.
I feel like maybe I'm the problem.
Right.
So then that would make me want to try again. And then you're still there and you're hoping that this thing is going to change until one day, you know, because this person is also quite used to you coming
in.
and saying, let's break up. And then he comes back, he begs,
Yeah.
you know, everything is fine. And then you take him back. And then, so he's used to it. And then one day you go and you say, you know what, I can't do this anymore. And he's looking at you like, you're very funny.
Yeah. You must be joking.
Yeah, you know, she'll be back. I'll give her 2 weeks.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then
You don't
a year
come
later, it's actually dawning on this person that this is not going to work.
Right.
You know, so again, everybody has ways.
Yeah.
And he had his ways of also dealing with the breakup because he was in denial. And a lot of men
Are in denial.
are in denial
In denial of what?
of the fact that it's
Of
over.
that it's over. Yeah. Yeah.
But if I haven't accepted it's over, what makes you think it's over?
It
It takes
is
two.
over.
It is over. It takes
No, but I
two.
haven't said it's over.
Actually, in this
You
case, I
said
don't
you are
think
the
it
one who
takes
said you want to
two.
break up.
Sorry?
I haven't said it's over.
I don't think it takes
It takes me to say that. No,
takes me-
it
once
takes,
I make
no,
a
when I
decision
say,
that
when I
it's
say it
over,
takes
it's
two,
over.
when I say it takes two, I mean that it takes two people to be in a relationship. So if
Yes.
one person doesn't want to be
Oh,
in
yeah.
it, it's over.
But I still want to be in a relationship.
Why?
So why are you walking away? What have I done to you? What is so wrong?
I told you what
But
you've
they've
done,
told you.
and you're still not
And
changing.
we talked about it.
So the fact that you talk about it
I'm
means
changing.
that-
Give me time. I will change.
And you know,
I don't.
I don't understand.
I can't relate.
I mean, so I can't.